Okay, buddy. Welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, no, thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh my God, yeah. Like I'm a big horror fan, so like
Okay.
this is really amazing to talk to you because like I'm a big Freddy fan, Charm fan. So yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Are you a Hills Have Eyes fan?
Oh my God, yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, cool. Well, thank you for having me, and I apologize again for, you know, I know we were supposed to do something last week and
Mhm.
just got away from me and meetings and everything else. So, but yeah, all good.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
You got
You're
me.
here now. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, how long you been doing the show?
Like the video show about 3, 4 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. You probably had some really good people on the show then.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been really really fun. Like the one of the one of the big ones I had. Like he was actually really cool. Was Sylvester Stallone,
Okay.
and he
Wow.
was actually pretty nice. Like pretty down to earth and stuff. I
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. Cool, man. Good. So yeah, so what do you want to talk about? I'm ready. I'm an open book.
Okay,
Let's do it.
okay. Well, the first thing I wanted to start out asking you is like before you started to act, I saw you were involved in sports and you also were in the army too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what was that experience like? Like do both doing sports and being in the military.
Yeah, so I grew up as an Air Force brat, right? I traveled around the world and with the family. We didn't stay longer than probably 2 or 3 years at any one place. So don't I really don't have a hometown. Yes, I
Hmm.
was born in Michigan, but that's about it. And you have like a groups of intense group of friends, and you move on, you get another intense group of friends. And so we ended up by the time I was a teenager going into high school, my junior and senior year, I ended up in Iran, the Middle East.
Oh
So I was
wow.
there. Yeah. So I'm older than you. And so Iran at the time and America were, uh, partners, friends. So when the Shah Reza Pahlavi, he was the president, ruler, if you want to call it, for Iran at the time. And uh, so I was there, and I went to Toronto American School, so I was there my junior and senior year, and I've always wanted to play college football. That was my goal. When I was a kid, I'm a fairly decent artist, I guess you could say. I drew up like all the NFL helmets and I put all their little logos on. I still have that somewhere. I did all that and I've always wanted to play professional football.
Hmm.
And so how do you get there? Well, you have to get there by playing college football, right? So how do I get to college? Well, I'm the oldest of six kids,
Oh wow.
from a sergeant's pay, and my dad was a sergeant in the Air Force, and so they're not going to have a lot of money, especially for me. I'm the oldest, sending me to college when they got five kids behind me they're still supporting. So when I graduated from high school, I played a little high school in football. I mean, little football in high school when I was in Iran. They had a big enough school to where they had three teams, and they had a community school that had Americans and Iranians, another team. So we played each other twice and had a decent season. And I remember I was on the all-star team at the end, and I remember one of the coaches come up to me and says, "Hey, Michael, you have the ability to play college football." I'm like, "Wow, thank you." It's like a dream come true for someone to say that to me. And so, that's got that in my mind, and I say, "Well, how am I going to get to college to play football?"
Yeah.
My dad couldn't afford to, send me, so I decided I would join the military, get the GI Bill, and pick a branch that had the shortest amount of time, but something that was still kind of crazy. And so I picked the Army and I was a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division, the well renowned Army Division. Went into that, did that for 3 years. And when I was in, there was a chaplain in my unit, and Chaplain Gimbel. He was an All-American at Kansas State. And he said, "Hey, Corporal Smith, I understand that you want to be a paratrooper." And I said, "Yes, sir." "I mean, you want to play football in college?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Well, I played at Kansas State." He went the big story. And he goes, let me make some phone calls and let me see what I could do. So about a month later, he calls me in his office. He goes, "Corporal Smith, I talked to Notre Dame and they love you. They want to have you." And I said, "All right, cool." I'm like 18, 19 years old. I have no idea what's going on. I didn't know really what Notre Dame was. I just know they was going to play football. And then I was all set to go there. And then about 3 or 4 months before I got out, he says, "Corporal Smith, you go to Notre Dame, you're probably going to ride the bench a while." He goes, "But where are you from?" I said, "Well, I was born in Michigan, sir." And he goes, "Let me make some phone calls." And he goes, "Well, he called me back and he goes, he goes, "Corporal Smith," he goes, "Eastern Michigan hasn't won a game in a year and they need some help." And so that's where I went to Notre Dame. I mean, went to Eastern Michigan, and I got redshirted my freshman year, but started the next years, and I became preseason All-American into my senior year. I started getting noticed from all the NFL teams, and I was really fast. I ran a 40 and 4.8, weighing about 290. So I was a pretty fast guy. Back in the day, that's super fast because there's no like preseason training. You just show up and run, right? There's no like working on your technique or all that stuff. So anyway, and then so when the draft came, I had hurt my knee my senior year, and that damaged me a little bit as towards the draft. And then the draft came, and I didn't get drafted. And then there was a knock on the door at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was this scout from the Dallas Cowboys, and he says, "Hey, have you signed with anybody?" I said, "No, sir." And he goes, "Well, we want to sign you." So I signed the paperwork, and then I went to camp. Was doing well in camp, and then during a drill against Randy White, I tweaked my knee, and then I got cut. So my knee blew up the size of a basketball, and so it's funny when you finish, when you do something so hard and so long and so focused on it, all of a sudden it's gone in a second. You get destroyed, right? Yeah, yeah. So I ended up finishing my degree. Then I went to California, to San Diego, and I was there in San Diego just kind of on the beach, chasing girls and drinking and having, a grand old time. And got into bodybuilding. There was a guy named Steve Henenberry who later became an American Gladiator on an American Gladiator show in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
He was Tower. And so he had dabbled.
Okay,
He was Conan in the Universal live action shows up there. He played that character, and he would go on auditions every so often and things like that. And good looking guy, big dude, bigger than me, just a huge guy. And taller too. And he said, "Hey," he goes, "I'm going to Los Angeles to read for this movie called Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. Why don't you come with me? Maybe you can audition too." And I said, "All right." So at the time I was working at Xerox debugging software, and I hated it. I was in a cubicle, and I asked my boss if I can get off, and she says no. And I said, "Well, I'm taking off anyway." And she goes, "Well, you're fired." And I said, "Okay." So yeah, so I ended up going up there, and I was waiting in the foyer as Steve went to audition, and then they asked me if I wanted to audition too, so I did, and I went into the room, and there was this guy named Stephen Hopkins who later became well-known director of he did movies like Ghost in the Darkness and a bunch of others. And he goes like, "So, Michael, have you seen those Freddy Krueger movies?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "I need someone big and scary, that can laugh." And he goes, and I said, "Think you can do that?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, then give it a go." So I let out this big lie. He goes, "That's fucking awesome. Guess what? You got yourself a job." And that's kind of how it happened. So next thing you know, about 2 weeks later, I'm on the set. I'm in the trailer with Robert Englund. He's teaching me. He's talking about the character, and Freddy Krueger. I got the prosthetics. They took his prosthetics that he put on his face because my head's bigger. I'm just a bigger dude. But added extra pieces. They made a glove and a hat and all that. And next thing you know, I'm on the set and I'm going faster than a bastard maniac. All the whole situation. More powerful than a local madman. It's Super Freddy. Whatever. That was my first couple lines. I got my SAG card, and I said, "Wow, this is what I want to do." So then, next thing you know, I'm in my car and I'm driving up to Los Angeles to make it as an actor. And then so I slept in my car for a few days and finally found a apartment with some creepy dude and slept on the floor and kind of made my way. And that's how it happened. Led to a 30-year career as an actor, and done over 100 movies and TV shows and commercials and all that. So yeah, definitely blessed on my journey. So
Oh
definitely.
my God, that's amazing.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
look, like when I was watching that movie, I thought it was actually like Robert doing Super Freddy's voice, but that was you. Like, did Robert work with you on
No,
that voice?
I did it, and then they tweaked it, and they probably put his voice over the top. But yeah, I mean, so let's see. Listen, when it's your first role,
Hmm.
and they called me Mike Smith instead of Michael Bailey Smith because I wasn't even in the union yet. Uh, I have no power. I have no nothing, right? So they do what's best. They think best for the character, right? So then that's what I did. And, listen, I got lucky. I had
Yeah.
no acting experience whatsoever, and just to be able to do that was pretty remarkable. I'm pretty blessed to be able to learn from Robert Englund, to play that kind of character, to now to this day. Now there's action here, there's action figures, there's people with tattoos of him, a Super Freddy, on their bodies,
Oh yeah.
and just all that. Even like same thing with Pluto from The Hills Have Eyes and
Hmm.
from Charmed. People have the tattoos of Balthazar or other characters that I played. So I'm just really blessed, to have that happen. So, and
Oh my
again, it was
God.
just I'm just some dude who couldn't make it with the Cowboys because I got hurt and went to San Diego, and I just met a friend, became a friend, and next thing you know, I'm an actor and making my way, and
Oh yeah.
so it was pretty cool. It's really a testament to anybody that's, you know, in life you just can't float along. You just can't sit in your basement and play video games for the rest of your life. You got to have goals. And I learned that once you have a goal and you set and go towards that goal, other opportunities will open up. They will. They just will. You might achieve that goal, and that's great. But as you go along, you might see this goal. It might take you that way, or it take you this way, and that's kind of what happened with me. I started with, I wanted to. My big thing was playing professional football, and even so I had to get to college and did that, and worked my ass off to get to where I could get, and then I ended up going to California, and that kind of opened up another path to something else, and that's how life is, right? So
Oh
that's how it
yeah.
is. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool stuff.
Oh, oh, the light went. There we go. Sorry.
If you don't mind, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so I'm having a beer. So
Huh? Definitely. What kind of beer are you drinking?
there's a Dos Equis with lime in it. So
Nice.
my uh my awesome, incredible fiance, who's now my wife, I'll say my partner in life for sure, forever. She brought it to me, so she's drinking one too. She said she's actually right here, so she makes the room a lot better looking than me, that's for sure.
And and you said before you filmed Elm Street 5, you actually watched Freddy Krueger films, and how
Yeah,
how much
yeah,
fun was it to, like, I mean, you were watching the films and now you're actually playing him.
yeah. No, it is remarkable. It's like that throughout my career. I remember when I was doing Family Matters,
Yes.
and ER was big, and I remember Family Matters filmed on the Warner Brothers lot right across in one studio, and the studio right next to it, soundstage, was ER, and I saw some of those characters come out, and they were like they taking a smoke or doing what they were doing, and I remember we go through rehearsals when I was doing Family Matters, and I would see them like, and I was like, oh, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be cool, and supposed to be a cool actor, whatever. And so, but then you would see these people, and yeah, it's kind of surreal at times. to actually get with people. Like I did a movie called Town and Country. It's one of those films that had all the big stars in it. It had Warren Beatty, Diane Keaton, Goldie Hawn, Gary Shandling. It had Charlton Heston. It had Andy McDowell. Huge cast. And I played this guy who was one of the head security guards for the New York Institute of Design. I had some good scenes in it, and it was really fun. And I made such a good impression with the director that he actually asked for my name and contact information because he wanted to use me for something else. Yeah. So, but there I got to have my chair right next to Charlton Heston.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I grew up watching. He's Moses. He's Ben-Hur. He's the dude, right? And everything. Just it's incredible to sit there next to somebody that you watched on TV and someone you idolized, and now he's next to you, and that you hope that when you sit next to someone like that, or the people that you did idolize or look up to, that they're just as wonderful as you imagine that that they would be. And he was. There's others that I've met that weren't. But he was definitely someone who was incredibly gracious, super nice. My chair was right next to him. He introduced himself. He insisted I call him Chuck, and I'm like, "No, you're Charlton Heston or Mr. Heston. I'm not calling you Chuck." And he goes, "All right, Michael, if that's what you want to do, but everybody calls me Chuck." And but he was really cool, and it was interesting. When you get on big films like that, the background people there's cordoned off somewhere else, and it's kind of a shame sometimes with the way they're treated, which I always a couple times on a TV show I went after some people, like physically went after some people because they were abusing the background people. I hate that. I just don't like when people are abused because they're just as important as anyone else, right? You can have the stars standing there doing the scene, but if you don't have people walking by or driving by or doing whatever, the scene is stale, right? So it's a collaborative effort. So anyway, one of the extras walked up to me, background people walked up to me, and he said, "Hey, Michael, you seem like a pretty cool dude. Can you do a huge favor for me?" And he told me the story about how his dad was passing away. He was in a hospital. It was in hospice, and his favorite actor is Charlton Heston, and he's right there. And I would love it if one of his last things that would ever happen to him is he got to speak with Charlton Heston. And so, do you mind if you went and talked to mine if you could talk to him for me? And I said, yeah. So I went up there and sat down next to him. I told him what's going on, and Charlton Heston turns around and he goes, "Come on over here, son." And he comes on over and he goes, "Make a phone call to your dad." He made a phone call to his dad, and every time I think about it, it gets me a little teary-eyed. But he got on the phone. He said, "Hey, Dad, I have someone who wants to talk to you." And he goes, yeah, I'm still on the set. I have someone to talk to you. Hands the phone to Charlton Heston. And he goes, "Hi, this is Chuck Heston. How are you?" "No, it's really Mr. Heston." "No, it's me." Yeah, and like this. Also, you can hear the guy in the other end crying, and that just yeah, just really incredible. So I love things like that. I love like you got interviewed Sylvester Stallone. I mean, I think that guy is. I love his movies. I think he's a cool ass dude. Great. He's a good ass actor. He does his thing and he does it so well. And he's an icon. Will always be. And you met him and he thought he was really cool. See, that's really cool. Now you've become even more of a fan, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, of course.
And I've worked with people, a couple of people, I'm not going to mention names, were either incredibly arrogant, condescending, treated like crap, either came super drunk to the set,
Ugh.
all those things. I've been punched by people that were out of control. Yeah. So there's a couple of them I had to pull them off to the side and have a little bit of a talking to, if you know what I'm talking about. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I had to do that. So there's a whole different kind of hierarchy on a movie set between who's number one on the call sheet compared to someone who's number 50 or whatever. And then you'd get when you guest star on a TV show or something like that, you'd always get someone that would look down on you, because you're a guest star, and because of my size, there's a stigma with big guys that they're not good actors, right? They're just there because of size. But I can
Yeah.
handle myself as an actor, right? I'm not saying I'm a great actor, but I can handle myself, right? I can make sure I don't get fired, right? And so yeah, it's funny seeing the look in their face when it's the first scene and they look at you like, wow, he's really good, you know. It's like when I did Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey, I did the first scene. He just loved everything that I did, everything. And like when I did I played a secretary for crazy secretary for Murphy Brown, the TV show Murphy Brown.
Yes, yes.
And on it, it's a half an hour sitcom, and everything is timed to the second. And for someone to get an extra scene in a sitcom that's timed to the second is remarkable. And because I did really good, I was supposed to do two scenes. I ended up doing three. But I had one scene at the beginning where they revealed me, and I was this big, crazy wrestler secretary. But this guy didn't show up. One guy goes sick. One of the regulars got sick, and say they wrote a quick scene for me in the middle of it and and I replaced him. So again, just blessed. And so, yeah, my career as an actor has been blessed. Now, I'm not saying this didn't happen, a whole fell in my lap. It took freaking hard work
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
and acting classes, every night. I remember when I first started in the 90s, I come out of acting class at about 2 in the morning. I lived in Hollywood, come out of my acting class at 2 in the morning, and my yellow Chevy Camaro IROC was stolen. It was not
Oh,
there anymore. It was on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. And so I lived in an apartment in Hollywood. So on Sunset, not a, yeah, on Sunset. So I went by the Hollywood police station. It's called Hollywood Station. Went there, filed a report. He says, "Listen, dude, your car's already stripped.
ooh.
Probably it's in Tijuana. I wouldn't worry about it." And he goes, "It's gone." And I didn't have any insurance, so that's probably illegal.
Mm.
But by the time when you're broke, you have to do what you got to do. And
Yeah.
and so then, luckily for me, I had headshots in my car in the back seat. So at about 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, I get a call from some guy going, "Hey, dude, are you Michael Bailey Smith?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Dude, your headshots are all over the parking lot.
Oh no.
I'm in Pasadena," and that's like freaking about an hour away. And I said, "Okay, cool, thanks." So I woke up my roommate. We hopped in the car and we drove up to Pasadena. I went to the 7-Eleven where my headshots were at, picked those up off the ground, and then we went down each street looking for it. And I found my car. Found my car. I had crappy tires on, the T-tops were on, but I drove it home with a pair of pliers. I started with a pair of pliers.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God, that's
I'm probably the
crazy.
only person who's ever found their stolen car.
I bet.
Good
Wow,
stuff.
that's
Yeah,
something.
yeah, crazy.
And and you meant like you got it hanging up behind you. The hills have eyes, and you
Yes, sir.
play Cannibal Pluto and made famous from Michael Berryman. And
Yes, sir.
was there any pressure to play
No,
that that role after Michael Berryman?
no. So one of the things, when I got the role, Alex Aja, the director, calls me. I'm getting wardrobe fitting, and he calls me and he says, "Hey, have you seen the movie?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Don't. I don't want you seeing it. I don't want you watching it. I don't want you to do anything." He go, "I want you because I know who you are. I know what you
Mm.
can do as playing because I'm like a pretty good dude. I mean, I'm pretty good at playing bad guys, right? And pretty vicious guys."
Oh yeah.
And uh, he said, "Bring that. Bring your your magic. Don't be replicating what anybody else does. Bring your magic." So that's what I did. I didn't watch anything. I watched it after. Totally different character than anything that I would do. Right? I just
Yeah.
had mine's totally different. Mine's a mine's a this big innocent. Um, you could if he was in a different environment, you would probably get hug the guy and feel bad for him or what happened to him. But because he lives with cannibals, we're gonna eat people. All right, that's what we're doing. And he treats humans as, as like chickens, or have to go out and get a pig, or bring it in for, So that's what he does, and he's incredibly violent. So it's like the trailer scene where he picks up the baby. He's like, like that. All of a sudden, then he's like, then he does that from that to being totally vicious and just going at people and tearing stuff up. And he's a lot like me when it comes to those levels. I'm a nice guy, I'm a loving
Yeah.
guy, I'm a caring guy. My wife gets mad at me sometimes because I tip a little big, you know, but I like making people happy. But then you flip the switch and then I'm in jail. So, so that's what happens, right? So and Pluto's a lot like that. So
Hmm.
and it's great because I won this award here. Let me get it for you. I won this award, the Fuse Fangoria Chainsaw
Oh,
Awards.
that's awesome. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that.
And this thing weighs probably 20 pounds. It's an actual cinder block.
Oh
It's
my
a hunk
God.
of cement with an actual chainsaw blade in it. There's an actual chainsaw blade. It's not fake, it's not plastic. Yeah, so that
That
was
is
my
so
first.
cool.
Yeah, so it was a televised award, and again, uh just really, really blessed that you win something like for best fights. And I beat out The Rock. I beat out who else? T-Rex and Godzilla.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Hey, anyone that could beat out the Rock, like you're definitely doing something right.
Yeah, no, I anyway, so it's just funny. But yeah, so that's that. And I won a few awards. There's a movie called Bloodshot, where I'm a vampire that works with CIA and I kill terrorists. Great movie, kind of tongue in cheek a little bit. I won some best acting awards for those. So yeah, good
Oh
stuff.
wow, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, just been blessed. Got a
Oh
blessed
yeah,
career for sure. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And uh, before we talk about Charm, like a television series that's similar to Charm is Buffy, and you got
Yeah.
to work on set for that. Like, did you actually hang out, like, do scenes with Sarah in
Yeah.
this show?
Sarah, Michelle Gellar. So not until the end,
Oh, okay.
and I'll tell this story. So when I was normally when you come on the set, I'm guest starring on a set. The people of series regulars come up there and they will shake their hand, say, "Hey, welcome, welcome to the show," and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And um, that didn't happen for some of the cast members, but Sarah totally ignored me. Now that I don't know if that was because that just she wanted to be afraid of my character or whatever. I don't, people have their own things, right? I have no idea. So I'm in there for a week, right? Normally it shoots 5 to 6 days. It depends on the show, but 5 to 6 days, Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday. And so the last day, I'm a big fight, big fight scene, and then and with her, she's kicking my ass and all that stuff like that. And then she knocks me on the ground, and then she will take this big sword and bah, rams it through my chest. So I'm laying there on the ground and then they have to set up the shot, put lighting and shot. And I'm laying there with my hand open like this on the floor because that's where when I landed on the floor. That's how I was supposed to be. I was supposed to, continuity wise, kind of, land the same way. And then she kneels beside me, and so they're setting up the shot, and my hand's sitting there, and then all of a sudden I feel this like finger go hit me on the finger. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I should respond to this or not, or what, maybe just a brush. And that's when she goes, hits it again twice. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then she goes, hits it a couple more times like that. And then I kind of look at corner of my eye, I see her hand, and I go like this. And she goes like that. Then I go like this, and she goes like that. And then we go like this. And then it ends. And that was my communication with her. After the scene, she got up and walked away. I never said hi to her. I never did nothing, but that was our communication. It was nonverbal. Uh, It was pretty interesting.
God, that is
So
very interesting.
yeah, so that's yeah, so that was my own thing. So Buffy was good. I loved the character Toth. Yeah, he was a pretty cool dude. I think how's the dialogue go? The last forging in my pain. No, is my the something at price with which something the Slayer or whatever. So I remember that part. Yeah, I can't remember the dialogue, but something like that. So yeah, so that was in the middle of me doing Charmed. So I was doing
Oh,
Charmed,
okay.
different characters, and then they called me for Buffy. Yeah, so yeah, it was pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow. So when did you get the call from Charm to play Balthazar?
Well, so there was a character I played before that, and he was called Janor. He was a Grimlock, and so I guest starred on that. Me and another guy. He was a shorter dude. Who played a Grimlock. And one thing I can say that I'm pretty good at is all the different kind of characters I've played, either in human form or in prosthetics or whatever. I really can separate those characters individually and not
Yeah.
like, well, that looks a lot like this character and that, whatever. It's so people just don't know, right? Like people didn't know that that Cole was the same guy. They thought the same guy who played Cole played Balthazar. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
true. Or
exactly.
they didn't know that the guy that played Balthazar also played Shax. He played Janor. He played the Source. So he played another Grimlock later on. So I played like 5 characters on that show. But so I was doing this character called Janor. It's called all the episode was All Hollowell's Eve,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, and I was doing a pretty good job on the show. And sometimes when you're doing a show, you get these compliments from people. Hey, you're doing a great job. But I had the assistant director walk up to me and he goes, Michael, he goes, the director said that you were probably one of the best actors he ever worked with in the last 5 years. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
but I was like, me? You talking about me? And I said, well, what stuff has he worked on in the past? you know, I don't know. So I didn't. I said, okay, thanks, I appreciate it, right? And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then so I got to my trailer, and my manager calls me and says, hey, Michael, so they want you back, and I go, I died on this show. No, another character. And he goes, this character named Beltazar. They hired some other guy, and he's not working out, so they're going to replace you. So you're going to replace him, and so
Oh,
that's what happened. So I went back and I did Beltazar. I got all the prosthetics or the make. It was a lot of airbrushing, and
yeah.
then a little pieces on my ears and my nose and my forehead, and then in my teeth, of course. And then yeah, I went back and reshot. We shot this couple scenes he was in from another episode, and then we did the other stuff. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So
Oh,
yeah,
so like your version of Balthazar was Shannon Doherty still one of the sisters, or was it Rose?
yeah. No, she was. Oh yeah, she
Oh,
was. She
okay.
was. Yeah. So she got killed, I think, on uh my second season. So I got into my second season playing Shax, and I did a couple other characters. And I didn't. Yeah, I did basically a season and a half or whatever of Charm. So yeah. So I was the demon du jour. So I was like this demon and that demon, whatever. But it was fun. It was
Oh
fun.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
it definitely looked like a fun show. Like how was Shannon? I mean, there's so many rumors like she was difficult, then others say she was nice. So what was it like working with Shannon Doherty?
No, she was nice. Very professional, right? So she's there to get the job done. But she no, very professional and nice and cordial to me. And so was Alyssa and so was Holly. I mean, they were all really nice to me. Yeah, so I got to know them. But Shannon worked hard. I remember one time we were doing this one scene and there was like another part of the set that was shut down, no lighting, and she was working on stunts with the stunt coordinator. So she's doing that, getting ready for another scene. So working on a fight scene. So that's, she works hard. So it's too bad what's happened with her now with the whole, her
Oh,
being
just show
sick and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So good.
Yeah, and like you even said, like a lot of people thought that Julian, who played Cole, was actually Balthazar too. Like, did you how was it working with Julian? Like,
Julian, oh, he's a
did you
great guy.
hear?
Yeah. In the middle of doing Charmed, I did a play. I was doing a play too. I was in the middle of doing Charmed, and this play I played as this gay cop who was in the leather. It's pretty funny. And at the end, because I messed up so bad, I have to come out and drag. So I've had I think I had probably I was probably the most popular character on that set because I had some people come up to me after the show and say, I'm gay, but I have to tell you, you are the ugliest drag queen I ever saw in my entire life. So I was like, I thought that was pretty funny. No, he came to the show and watched it. It was really cool with a couple of his friends, and yeah, Julian's a great guy. Great guy. It's funny. He was married to a girl. I forgot her name. Rebecca Stamp. No, I forgot who he was married to. Blonde gal. Really beautiful. And I did a TV show called She Spies. She Spies, and I played this character that has a condition that when he gets really high anxiety, he starts to can't breathe, and so they're trying to get information out of me. It's the spies, and then his ex-wife, I think it was his wife at the time. She shows up and she's like this wild, uncontrolled spy. And she goes, I know how to make him talk. And she's beating the crap out of me. And then she goes, that's not going to work. And then she kisses me. So I got to kiss, Julian's ex-wife. So anyway, wasn't really much of a kiss. Trust me, movie kisses are not anything. I think that's the only time in my whole career that I got to kiss anybody. So I've never. Well, that wasn't even a kiss. It was just her just laying it on me. So, but yeah, I I never got kiss. Oh, it's true. So my wife's right here. She's listening. But she said I did get to do in Nightmare on Elm Street, my first role. I did a nude scene. So if you don't remember, so that I played Super Freddy, but
Yeah.
at the beginning of the film, I got to do another role by accident because the movie's titled Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, right?
Yeah.
Well, the lead actress, she gets pregnant, and she has
Yeah.
to get pregnant, right? At the beginning of the film, it's like two people making out. It's Danny Hassel, and then I forgot Lisa Wilcox, I think. They're making out, and that's so they have to have that kind of movement when the credits are rolling at the
Oh yeah.
beginning. Yeah, so that was me. That was body double for Danny Hassel.
Oh, get
And
out.
yeah, and then so and then they hired a stunt double for that, but that that was not sexy whatsoever. It was very technical. So, but interesting about that, Danny Hassel, after he did his acting, he went in the army. He was an Army Ranger, and he was in Second Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. And my son, he was in first battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. So they both were Rangers in special operations, which is kind of cool. So I have a lot of respect for him for sure, what he's done. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's all. I would have never known that unless you said it.
Yeah. So he's anybody that's put a uniform on and is ready to go to war or has been to war, I have a lot of respect for it. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
definitely.
Yeah.
And also with Charm, like when Balthazar and Cole, like you and Julian share most of your scenes with uh
Alyssa.
Alyssa because she's like the love
Yep. Yep.
interest of Cole. And
Yep.
like what was it like sharing scenes with her? Like, because even as Balthazar, he's this big evil force, but he also has feelings for her, even though he's
Yeah.
in demon form.
Yeah. There's one of the episodes where they film me from the waist up. There's a part where her and I are laying in bed, and then I turn into Balthazar.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was that part. So yeah, that was interesting. She's a nice lady too. She's a nice lady. So yeah, it's yeah, it was good. It was good. Again, very blessed and what I was able to do, and you know, I I didn't study as an actor until I got to Hollywood. you know,
Mhm.
and I didn't do theater until after I got to Hollywood. A lot of people do theater, they do study, they get their, you know, master's of fine arts or whatever. But I didn't. Mine's in computer science, so it's nothing to do with acting. So yeah,
And besides Charm, like you did a whole lot of other television shows. Like, is there any television shows besides Charm that you had the most fun doing?
yeah. There's a quite a few. Family Matters is one. That's I really love that show. Everybody there, you know, Julie White to Carl. I mean, the guy that played Carl, Reginald. All those guys were super nice to me. That was good. Another one, Nash Bridges. Me and Cheech Marin really hit it off, and he's a great guy. I did 2 episodes of that. They wanted to bring me back for a bunch more, but then they ended up canceling the series.
Oh,
Uh, those were I had good times doing those. I did yeah, there's tons. I did Blackish. One of my last TV shows was Blackish, and yeah, that was really fun to do. So yeah, I just again just blessed, you know. I'm what people call as a working actor. So I'm the kind of guy that you're standing there and someone turn around and go, "You look familiar." It's like the other day, there's someone stopped by our house to measure. There's a rug that we want to get replaced in our house, and so he come, I open the door, and he's looking at me. And he's like, "Have we met before?" And I'm like, "No." You know, I'm living in Arkansas now, so you know, this way away from Hollywood, and then he starts, okay, so he gets on, he's measuring the carpet, he stops, looking at me, and he goes, "You sure?" I go, "Yep, I'm pretty sure." And then later on, he stops, looking at me again. I go, "Okay, let me tell you." And then I tell him, about the whole acting thing. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "Hey, did you do My Name Is Earl?" And I said, "Yep, I did 4 episodes of that." And he goes, "Oh yeah, it was that prison prom scene where you're like, hey, there's a chocolate fountain. Where's the white chocolate fountain?" I played the Aryan Brotherhood guy. And he's like, and I go there, "Oh yeah," whatever. So he goes, "I remember that." There was like we got our car washed. Me and my wife, we got our car fixed at this place they do car washes too. And when we were there, we got introduced to this one guy, and then he told someone else. Next thing you know, there's a guy. I'm FaceTiming this guy who's a huge fan of Master of Disguise with Dana Carvey,
Yeah.
and so yeah, and so he's like repeating the lines from Master of Disguise, which is
Oh
pretty
my
funny.
God.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how when you as an actor, when you're doing this thing, you go from TV show to TV show to movie, whatever it is, commercial to commercial. You don't realize sometimes the impact it has on people, right? So,
Oh yeah, of
and a,
course.
and a positive impact, right? So, you know,
Oh
doing
wow.
doing 9 to 5 jobs, digging ditches and things like that, which I've done. I've done plenty of that, and I still do it to this day.
Hmm.
It's nice to get escape a little bit, and watch your favorite TV show or your movie or
Oh
whatever, and kind
yeah.
of escape from the real world. So
Definitely. One of the shows like I love is
Shameless, yeah,
Shameless,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
who did you wind up working with on that?
Uh, Gosh, what's the gentleman's name? The lead guy. I apologize for not remembering his
Oh,
name.
William Macy.
Yeah, William Macy. So I got to work with him. Yeah, so it's cool. So there's a part where he goes into an insane asylum, and he's looking for, I think, his daughter or someone, and he goes in one room and he runs into me, and I'm a big ho cross dresser. You know, uh I could be her. And I had like a slip on and combat boots, like a slip. And it's funny how I got that role is that was on the Warner Brothers lot. So I wore that slip, got out of my car, walked across the street, went through the main gate in the slip with the boots. And then when I walked into the audition, the producer and the director goes, "Dude, if you have enough balls to walk through the middle of the Warner Studios wearing that and come in here, you're committed. You got the role." So I ended up getting
Definitely,
it.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's pretty cool.
And I saw you did like a lot of voice work too on video games. And how do you
Yep.
find like the right voice to use when you're doing a voiceover role?
Yeah, I don't know. I for my wife Paige, I'm always like, so what do you want to do today? I don't know. Let's do something, whatever. And I'll just like do it. And so I'm always a different character for her. That's why we keep it exciting. No,
Okay.
but that's it's kind of fun. It's yeah, I normally play bad guys, it's like some Aryan. I always get stuck with the white supremacist Aryan Brotherhood, type of thing. Yo, man, I'm kicking your ass, whatever, something like that. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
No.
And it's great. I could beat up anybody I want to in movies and and you don't get in trouble for it, but in the real world you're
Oh,
going to
well, yeah, of
jail.
course.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's funny though, people mistake me sometimes. Remember when I did Undisputed with Ving Rhames, Wesley Snipes. I played it white supremacist Aryan Brotherhood gang leader in that one. That movie was pretty popular. And I remember a couple times I was in Los Angeles going through like Inglewood and stuff, what's predominantly, black. And
Mhm.
I had to like go to the mall close by. I'm like the only white dude walking around. They're like, yo, man, you're that dude. I'm kicking your ass. Like, wait a minute. That was a movie. Not in real life. So I had to like check people. So so yeah. So anyway, but yeah. And there's a couple times I was a police officer staying there, like I just walked around a little bit, and someone goes, "Officer, I need your help." I'm like, wait, hold it. There, that's the real one right there. I point over there, get the real officer. So
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got some of the commercials I've done. I did a commercial, Bud Light commercial with Tim McGraw and Tug McGraw
mhm.
before he passed away. So yeah, that was really cool. So some good stuff. Yeah, Toby Keith. I did a movie. I did a commercials with a pre concert video with Toby Keith. That was
Nice.
yeah. It's funny, as you get older, some of these people pass away, and you know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like wow, I got to work with that guy. He was really nice, So yeah, you get to see that. So
Oh wow.
good stuff. Yeah.
And is there anything coming up next for you that you want to plug? Like, are any shows or movies or anything else you're working on?
Yeah. So I have segued from being an actor to being a writer. So I've written a ton of screenplays, and my last one, which is called My Good Boy, um, just it got optioned a little while ago by a gentleman who's a pretty well-known TV producer, and he's going to get into film. And so that is supposed to go into production by the end of this year. It was supposed to go into
Nice.
production last year, but the strike and everything else delayed it,
Oh
so
yeah.
everything's this year. So yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I love writing. I love because now I can play every role. It's pretty awesome in my head. I'm great at telling stories and I seem to have a knack for writing and I really like it. So yeah, I want to
Oh,
take that
that's
further.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, like Taylor Sheridan, right? He was a an actor, working actor and whatever. And then he said, screw this. And he started his own, started writing and he wrote like, Hell or High Water. Um, then he did the Sicario movies and super talented writer and great visionary and just writes, very real and raw characters and his dialogue is no holds barred, and but I write different types of things.
Mhm.
I write about um, the struggle of good versus evil, you know, um, humans being, you know, uh, having their faults and trying to fight through
Oh yeah.
those and people questioning God and why do bad things happen to good people and
Mhm.
these are questions people ask every day, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
and so that's the kind of things I like to write about. If I wrap around like I'll wrap it around a story or an action piece or something like that. So that's that's what I like writing stories that go from point A to point B, 90 miles an hour. In the middle of it, you're telling this cool ass story, and it has a kind of a message to it. So, and then, how it is when either watch a TV show or even a movie, and you go to the theater and you walk out and you say, wow, that movie was really good.
Definitely.
And then the next day you're still thinking about that movie, saying, wow, that was really good.
Yep.
And then maybe the day after, though, that's the kind of movies I want to write. So like to me, like
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption or even like Aliens, I James Cameron, I movies like that have great characters and a great story. I love those kind of characters. So yeah,
Nice, nice.
that's what I like to do. Yeah, yeah, it's good stuff.
And the
Yeah,
last thing I will ask you is where can fans follow you at and keep up with everything?
yeah. So I mean, I'm not a big social media guy. I mean, I have Facebook, and I think I'm maxed out on my friends there. Uh, I do have to get rid of some, especially the ones that are like people I never heard of, But that's probably a place. And then I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter. Just look up Michael Bailey Smith. Um, I don't think I don't have to do a tag of the real Michael Bailey Smith because no one wants to copy me. So I'm just Michael Bailey Smith is good enough. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I got this movie. We'll start production end this year. That's exciting. I'm excited about that. Um, I'm gonna help produce as well, and that'll be good. And other than that, I my wife is starting her own. Well, she started her own company. We're gonna launch the product in about a month, a little over a month maybe, and it's called Inseam Saver. You ever have wash clothes that shrink, right?
Oh,
They shrink and you
yeah.
can't use them more. She has a way of returning them back to the original length, and you can even
Oh,
add
wow.
length as well. So it's really good. It's nothing like it on the market. She has 4 patents wrapped around it. It's N as in Nancy or November dash seamsaver.com. And so, yeah, it's really cool. I'm going to turn her into an action hero. It's going to be really cool. She's going to be the inseam saver, right? And it's going to fly around and fix people's clothes that shrunk. So we're have
There
fun
you
with it. So we're excited about that. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So and she's incredibly beautiful. I don't know how I ended up with her. I got lucky. I didn't drug her, so maybe she needs glasses. I don't know, but yeah, I'm getting yelled at right now. But anyway, so no, she's pretty good. So I got very blessed for sure. So yeah,
Definitely.
I always say, good things happen to good people, right? And
Yes,
so
for
normally,
sure.
if you're a good dude or a good gal, whatever, a good person, um, good things will happen to you. So and if something seems good that happens to a crappy person, it's not going to last very long. So they'll be found out. So yeah, that's my philosophy in life.
There you go.
So yeah, good, good. Well, cool.
Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really had fun talking to you. So
Yeah, thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
for coming
Thank
on and
you.
doing this. I
Well, you're
appreciate it.
easy to talk with. I appreciate it, and thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it. It's Friday, and it's 5 o'clock. Might be time for another beer. We'll see what happens. It's just is it Jimmy Buffett? It says 5 o'clock. No, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Anyway. Margaritaville. Oh, Margaritaville. Okay, yeah. There's a bar. There's a place here called was it Bonefish? They happy hour. They make the best margaritas. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and then my wife is awesome because when I start like having a couple of drinks and I get a little because I start getting really happy and I want to talk to people and just whatever and I come up with these crazy voices and I'm doing all this stuff like all of a sudden I see a Diet Coke slide in front of me. She cut me off. It's pretty funny. So I love it though. I love it. I love it. So it's all good.
Well,
Good, sir.
well, we'll definitely have a great weekend
You
and
too, sir.
have fun with your drinks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Good. Well, have a good
Definitely.
one. All
All
right.
right,
Thanks, Rick.
buddy. You
Yeah.
too.
Take care. All right.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.